Hi guys, and welcome to the first podcast of Babbling Brummies with me, Jay.
And me, John.
So we're just going to basically talk about all football-related things and then go on from there.
See where it goes. We had a YouTube channel back in the day, didn't we, where we did stuff like this. We did lots of football gossip sort of stuff, talked about transfers, did some football challenges, and life got in the way of that really. But we've wanted to bring something like that back for quite a while now, haven't we?
Yeah.
And that's what we're just going to try and do today, and hopefully going on forward as well.
We're going to look at doing these weekly.
Yeah, try weekly, and we'll see how it goes. We just love talking about football, don't we? So,
Yeah.
why
Just
not
standard lads in the pub who like to chat about football, really, and we're just going to
put a mic in the middle of
put
us?
a mic in the middle and hope for the best. So,
So we've just got back from a football game ourselves. We were just at Birmingham City versus Cardiff. Jamie's a Birmingham City fan, so I just like to go to any football game really. So I was really happy to go, and so just a bit of a forewarning. Jamie's a bit emotional about football at the moment because what happened, Jay?
we literally just fully bottled a 2-0 lead. Went in at half time. Deeney scored a beautiful goal. Scored a lovely counter-attack on the stroke of half-time. I'm trying not to be a biased fan here. I don't think they really laid a glove coming into the second half. We let Kiefer Moore have one chance. He puts it away. Fair play to him. It's what he does. It's why he's Wales number 9, let's be honest.
Then on the back foot for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
really.
we basically
from that
just
moment.
Depleted squad, no midfielders. EFL love to not let when we appeal stuff not go through, even though it's a clean tackle. Cardiff did 3 of them today. Fine, not a red. Moving on. And just caught up playing a 17-year-old and all the squad at centre mid who were weak and tired, so it just happens. But it's football.
Talking about a young Birmingham player, that 17-year-old who played today, there's also one who was at Blues not too long ago, and there's been a bit of a controversy around him this week. If you know football, you've probably heard about this. Jude Bellingham now is a centre mid for Borussia Dortmund. And recently, it was Borussia Dortmund versus Bayern Munich, the biggest game in German football. And this young kid, how old is it? 18 now, isn't he? He was 18.
Jude's 18, 19 now, yeah.
And he came out after the game, and he was not happy with a few of the refereeing decisions, I think, let's say. And you'll probably know, what did he say, Jay?
So I'm led to believe there was, I could be wrong here, so shoot me if I'm wrong, a penalty. And some very, very 50-50 decisions that went the other way. Jude, being an emotional lad from Birmingham who likes to speak his mind, basically came out, in all fairness to him, factual. And he said...
Nothing he said wasn't... Like, a lot of the time people come out and give opinions. Everything he said in this statement now was completely factual.
Straight facts.
Yeah.
He literally said, you give the referee who's been done for match fixing... the biggest game in Germany. What did you expect to happen? And they opened a police case against it at one point.
And it was €45,000, was it, fine?
Fined for speaking the truth.
Or round about that. And we
I love it.
I mean, we know Bellingham. We've known Bellingham for quite a while, mostly because he came from Birmingham's academy. But I'll say we. I was completely outraged. I think you feel the same. Because it doesn't feel like you can say anything against referees at all, even if, like Jude, literally everything he said in that statement, and I know it was fueled by emotion, it was fueled by probably pride because they've just lost the biggest game, but everything he said there was factual. It was a referee who was done from match fixing before, and it was the biggest game in Germany. Really, my opinion is, if you've been done for something like match fixing, you should probably not play the professional.
And you're an official.
You shouldn't really play.
It's like footballers. If you get done gambling as a footballer, you are banned for a bit. And that's even if it's not match fixing on your sport.
Yeah.
Like, if you say, if I was a footballer for Plymouth and I put £5 on Real Madrid to beat Barcelona, you can still get done for that. And they go harsh on that stuff. So why would you give someone who's German, who's been done for German football, another go in the German league, in the biggest game in Germany?
And it's not... I mean, I believe in redemption for people. I don't think if someone does a mistake, they should be held accountable for that rest of eternity, really, I suppose. But he's got to put... If you've been done for match fixing before and taking bribes...
Well, yeah.
you shouldn't probably be back. Just even for the fact that people are going to be able to raise this point, like maybe they did match fixing again. Even if he never does it again, it's the doubt in people's mind from that. But the fine was ridiculous. I think, mate. I mean, I'd still be annoyed with a telling off, but I'd understand more of a telling off. Be like, Jude, like you've had a warning from the FA or the German FA or whoever did it.
Just be careful what you say, son, kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's 18 as well. Like...
Yeah, like, he's a kid. Like, I think the issue is society, especially, like, people don't like being yes men, and people have opinions in life. And if you're not allowed to state your opinion, professional footballer or whatever, it's just not. It's not worth it. Like, no one's gonna sit there. Not everyone's gonna sit there and be a yes man.
I mean, you could have a referee come out after the game and say to the press, if we're like, let's say Jude dived in the game, the ref could come out and go, say whatever he wants, pretty much, couldn't he? Like Jude dived, like he kept diving all over the place, and he could get away with anything, pretty much. What he was saying. How much was it? 40,000?
Yeah, 40,000 euros equaling 33,900 sterling.
I mean, it's probably not much for Jude. Like that's probably less than a week's wage for Jude at the moment. I mean, he is at the second biggest club in Germany, and he's linked with a move quite heavily at the moment to Liverpool for 90 million.
Yeah.
Well, again, he would probably be on a lot more than that as well. But I think it's pretty ridiculous, to be honest. So you're looking at the manager at the moment, are you?
I am sorry.
I think it was in early 2000s. If I'm
the fix.
So Jamie's just looking up when he did match fixing. I think I saw it was early 2000s.
I mean, okay, right. Point taken. If it's it's been about 20 years. I can.
But I think it's even if you wouldn't do it again, because you got caught, you wouldn't want to do it again.
No.
It's by putting him in the biggest match that just causes controversy for controversy's sake, if you know what I mean. Like, people could bring this up about him.
Well, I suppose football associations, you wouldn't really want it to be as squeaky clean as possible, don't you? Really, you want, the perfect kind of, in a perfect scenario, you want a nice game of football, no issues, no controversy. You want the game done, jobs are good.
You want no chance for people to argue controversy from it, really. But we'll move on from there, because I think we could probably stay on that for quite a while.
Yeah.
But like I said, Jude is linked to a move away from Chelsea, from Dortmund at the moment, to a Premier League club, maybe Chelsea, maybe Man City. But at the moment, it seems heavily linked with Liverpool.
Yeah.
90 million. I think it'll be a great signing.
Oh, I think, go. Like, we've got a sign-on clause anyway, so go. Sell.
Future Ballon d'Or winner, I think we can both sort of agree he will be up there in his career if he carries on under the way he's going.
Yeah, I think the trajectory he's on at the moment, he's going up and up, and I said to you, didn't I, after about 3 games in playing, I went, he's levels.
That was when he was 15, wasn't he? When he started,
he just turned 15, 16. I said, like, he is already the most composed player in the club on the ball.
And I remember thinking you were just a biased Birmingham fan at that point. Like, I mean, everybody with their own clubs. You've got a youngster coming through. You're like, this is the next big thing. He's going to be the next best player. And that's what I thought about this. But, I mean, I think he's starting to show. I mean, at 17 years old, he was playing in the Euros for England.
Exactly.
And that hasn't happened
since Wayne.
Probably Wayne. We might have had a few. No, I think probably Wayne that young.
I think Rooney was the last breakout like that, yeah.
And he was 17, wasn't he, when he played for England?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think Theo Walcott went to a World Cup but never came on.
So, but even so, still 10, 15 years since that's happened. And he didn't look out of place. He didn't look like a youngster. He looked like just a team who got to the finals midfielder.
Well, a lot of people have said, haven't they? He already looks like he's got the brain of a 27-year-old centre mid. Like, he just sees it.
And the ability of like someone in their prime, pretty much, even at this young age.
Oh, yeah.
But Liverpool are doing well at the moment, aren't they, in the league?
They are.
We've got the league table up here, and this is Saturday, 11th of December. Just give a bit of context to this. The fixtures for the Saturday have just ended, and at the moment the table stands: Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Yeah.
And everyone else is miles off already. At the start of the season, I think most people expected it to be these 3 at the top. I had my doubts about Chelsea. I know they've got an amazing manager. They just won the European Cup. But I didn't think they'd be able to keep up with Liverpool and Man City. But it seems like they were actually the fast ones at the beginning. They were top, weren't they?
Chelsea.
quite a while.
Yeah,
they seem
Chelsea
to be
flew out the blocks.
dropping a little bit now, maybe because of injuries or what so. But do you think they can compete?
I think the issue with Chelsea is defensively at the start of the season. I think, and I only know this because I watch another podcast, I believe that up until the Watford game when they conceded once, they conceded 5 goals. So I think in total now they've probably conceded 8 goals this season.
2 more today, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I mean, 8 in total. So I think now the problem is starting to...
11.
They're starting
Sorry,
to...
on the table here. So 11 now.
Yeah, they're starting to leak a little bit, like... They're starting to leak goals a little bit. Obviously, they've had Lukaku out now for a bit. He's just starting to come back now. Werner's been out. He's just starting to come back.
Which is hard playing with no striker. I mean, Man City have been doing it pretty much all season.
Yeah, but they love it.
Yeah, I know.
They've literally had Gabriel Jesus like sat on the bench for 2 months going, can I play? Like,
instead, should we play Grealish or Sterling or Foden up top? Yeah. But it's seeming like a bit more recently. It might be a bad run of form, but are people starting to figure Chelsea out a bit more? And are we going to see Liverpool and Man City start to break away? Because they are, in my opinion, the 2 strongest teams. And from the start of the season, I would say, we've got a group of friends, I was chatting to them, and I was saying it's a Man City or Liverpool title this year. And I couldn't see, and I think Chelsea might be competitive, but I see it's Liverpool or Man City. Could we see them having a bit of a breakaway, them two? And like the top 3s at the moment, 9 points ahead of 4th place.
I think definitely, but I also think January is massive. I think if Man City were to win the league, and I think their only letdown at the moment is they need a centre forward. And he clearly wants one that he can trust because Gabriel Jesus is good enough to play for most of them teams in the league and he's not having it.
Yeah.
So he needs, and I think Man City will probably go in for someone.
Do you think, I'm not sure, you know, because
do you not?
I mean, it's interesting. I just saw Pep Guardiola's pre-match interviews and press conference, and he was being asked about Haaland because Haaland's come out with the clubs he would sign for, or his agent has, you know, his famous agent. And so they asked Pep, and Pep goes, "I don't want to talk about it." Right off, and I think they got hurt by all the press from the Harry Kane stuff, like bumped the price up and up and up. They couldn't afford it, so I think they're going to go for a summer signing of Haaland, and they don't want any press around it because they don't want Dortmund upping the price any more than it will be already. So I don't know if they're going to try and hold on this season without a striker.
I think Haaland might have a release clause, you know.
He might do. I'm not sure. I'll look at you carry on with your what you're thinking about.
I mean, I'm willing to be wrong. I think the issue comes is that like Man City, and they are an incredible team with or without a striker. But if you imagined if Harry Kane went, and I know he's not been great this season, but Harry Kane at City, and Erling Haaland at City, a natural good goal scorer at Man City, like
I think if they had a goal scorer, they could have been unbeaten this season so far. Because we saw it today in the match when they played. Who were they playing? It was not Leeds.
They went down to Wolves.
Like Grealish missing it over. They needed a finish. A good striker would have been in the position there where Grealish was and would have finished it. Like their job is to finish goals. Do you know what I mean? A striker. So I think they could. Yeah, but I think without a striker, I think it would be close. I think if they had a striker, they would definitely be the strong favourites, I think.
But I think the other thing, Liverpool, they've lost 1 game this season.
But, sorry, I was
Karen.
going to say, they're going to be struggling next few months.
Well, this is what I was about to say.
Yeah.
AFCON's coming. Like, the AFCON Cup of Nations is literally here, and you're losing Mane, Salah. Firmino's out injured. Matip's going to be gone, like...
let's go through their team.
Naby Keita?
Did they qualify? Probably Naby Keita.
We'll just say Naby Keita anyway, like, we'll throw it in there, like...
There's 4 or 5 first-team players. I mean, Naby Keita's been great this season as well.
Of course, but your front 3 is potentially dropping from Mane, Salah and Firmino to the GOAT Divock Origi, who, to be fair, is good for a goal.
Jota and
Minamino. Jota, great player. Could score whenever he wants. But is Jota going to be able to fill the boots of a Mo Salah?
Yeah.
Is Minamino going to fill the boots of a Sadio Mane? I don't think he is.
And I think the fact that what players are City losing in this time, I think Chelsea will probably lose a few. You got Mendy, who will probably be gone. But they've got Kepa as a ready-made replacement for him. If he doesn't leave. I don't think they'll let him go if they've got this coming up.
I think Kepa's very hit and miss though as well. You need consistency, and Kepa loves to...
But in terms of second choice keepers, he's probably up there one of the best in the league.
Oh yeah, I think 100%. Like,
and have they losing anybody else?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to go through the teams in my head
Midfield,
now.
no, not really. Defence, no, they defend Rudiger, Christensen, Silva. No, that literally probably just their keeper. And you look
I think out of the top teams, I think most of the Prem, I think Liverpool's the most hard hit in terms of firepower. Like,
and they've not really got any hard team. I would say hard teams. There's loads of every match is a hard match in the Premier League.
yeah,
But the only really big title match that they could come into, or like a top 6 match, is Arsenal. But is that scarier? Because if they can't finish off these littler teams, will that affect them more? If they're playing, like they've got Brentford, they've got Crystal Palace, I suppose they've got Leicester City as well, they've got Burnley, Norwich, a few of these teams known for being resilient. And if they don't have that finishing touch, if they can't win these matches, what they're sort of expected to win, when they get to the matches against Manchester United, Man City, Arsenal towards the end of the African Cup of Nations, but will they have lost too many points already by maybe not being able to finish off these
I think the issue is they've got Champions League still, FA Cup now coming.
Yeah.
Like, the congestion's going to catch them, and they're literally going to be having to rotate young people in. You know, they're going to be hoping your Harvey Elliott's are coming back quite soon. Ox might even end up on the wing at one point.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to have to rotate and keep everything going as much as they can. But
do you think that? Do you think they'll be able to finish off these teams like a resilient Burnley team and Norwich City, Brentford when they're on form? Would they be able to finish them off without these players?
I think good teams find a way.
Let's hope.
And Liverpool are a fantastic football team.
Yeah, I think let's look at the players they're losing. So we've done the front 3 replacements already. Mm-hmm. Matip, obviously, you got Joe Gomez, ready-made replacement,
and
also,
he's back now, yeah, fit as well.
Also,
Naby.
I don't know how to say his name. Konate,
yeah.
Ready-made replacements, him. Maybe not as good. Some would argue, but at least there's a replacement there. Keita, you've got Thiago, Ox, Fabinho,
Milner.
So it's really just their attacking threat. I mean, maybe it won't be as good a team anywhere else around the pitch with in the midfield and defence. Some might argue it would be equally as good.
But I could see them pulling it off. They could pull off a January signing as well.
Who? I mean, I know they want Jude. Surely that wouldn't be till summer.
I think it sounds daft. I can see them making some kind of weird loan signing or something, just kind of
just
going.
To cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 months here, like.
Do a Barcelona and sign Braithwaite. Who else did they sign? Some dodgy strikers. I don't know.
Oh, De Jong.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, they could do something like that. I think they're probably too good to lose any of their matches come African Nation. I'm just wondering if
they're dropping.
They're going to be able to win
your
all
1-1s,
of them.
your 0-0s, yeah.
And I
your
think
Sean Dice is, I'm putting a 10 men behind this ball. Go for it, lad.
And the last 3 seasons, except for last season actually, but Man City ran away with it. Actually, including last season, to win the league, you had to win pretty much every game, or at least draw.
Well, look at the season when Liverpool didn't win the league with 99 points.
Yeah.
Liverpool lost 1 game that year. Man City lost 2 or 3, but Liverpool must have drew about 8 or 9 games. That's the issue.
The way it is at the moment with these 2 dominant teams, and maybe 3, who knows, will Chelsea keep up? Potentially. You need to be winning every game, or at least 90-95% of your games to have a chance. I mean, that season when it was Man City, Liverpool right at the top, that was ridiculous. That was probably 2 of the greatest teams I've ever seen in the Premier League in one season together.
But they've both... A lot of these teams are showing as well. They're slipping up against your teams like your West Hams, who are fantastic this season.
Yeah.
For the record. But
beat Liverpool, didn't they?
Yeah.
Liverpool's only loss.
Yeah. And did they beat Chelsea as well?
Did they draw with Chelsea or beat them? No, they beat them.
Yeah.
They scored last minute, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, so your West Hams are even turning up. You know, United are sat 5th, West Ham are sat 4th, and no one's begrudging that.
Yeah.
No one's begrudging the fact that Arsenal and Tottenham are sat 6th and 7th.
Yeah, and even with, I mean, we can talk about like amazing managers in this league for ages. I mean, you got Tottenham and Conte as well, but you should be expecting a Conte team to finish top 4. But at the moment, you can't put it past the way West Ham are playing. I know they had a bit of a drop in form recently. I mean, they did beat Chelsea last match, but before that, a bit of a drop in form. But you can't argue that they don't deserve to be 4th.
No, not at all.
The way they're playing. David Moyes doing a masterclass, and Man United, the one place below him, thinking maybe we should have kept him a bit longer than one season.
Have not got rid of him after 8 months?
Maybe that was a mistake.
This man made Marouane Fellaini look like a god, and you got rid of him.
And to be fair, I know people were slating the Fellaini decision for Man United bringing him and saying like he's paid too much for Fellaini. He did a solid in their squad even after Moyes left.
Back under the season of Fellaini being at United, I beg anyone who listens to this, find me a better impact sub that season.
Yeah.
Find me a better substitution than Marouane Fellaini up top.
Was it? It wasn't Moyes who did Fellaini up top though, was it? Wasn't it? Was it Van Gaal?
No, yeah.
Was it Moyes?
As well, yeah. Moyes played him as a centre forward at Everton some games.
It's like FIFA at the moment. Every game, if someone brings on a Fellaini, it's always up front, isn't it?
Yeah,
at the moment?
you know where he's going.
But yeah, Chelsea. I mean, we've sort of moved on now. We've literally pretty much gone on to our next thing about United with their new manager. Talked about maybe they got rid of Moyes too quickly, but some will probably argue they kept on to Ollie too long.
Oh, at points, it was literally looking like Ollie would have to drop some kind of ginormous issue. He'd have to probably put bankruptcy into United or something to actually get sacked. It was horrendous. I felt for him because you watch the interview when he leaves. He's a man who's genuinely passionate about football and loves Manchester United.
Yeah.
But how much of it is I love this club and I want to walk away now?
I've done all I can because he has done.
He's made them better.
For a very inexperienced manager compared to a lot of the other big managers in this league.
Yeah.
He did very well. His only other experience in English football was relegating Cardiff.
Well, yeah.
To bring a manager...
that happens again.
With after today, sorry. It's alright, mate. After that being your only English experience, when taking over probably one of the biggest clubs in English history, you could probably argue the biggest club, even if they're not doing too well at the moment. He did well at steadying the ship, and also probably, I don't want to say fixing what Jose Mourinho did, because Jose Mourinho, people overlooked that he actually won them a trophy during this time. But he did. He did. I think he did fix a lot of the problems that Jose Mourinho caused. In terms of personalities, a bit more.
I think personalities, but I think at the same time, Jose also didn't have. And I'll word this: if you look at the United teams under Ferguson, and then you look at the United team that Jose tried with, it is quite apparent why Jose turned around and said, "Finishing second with United is one of my biggest achievements."
Yeah, I don't think he did bad with them. I think any club Jose goes to, there's going to be controversy because it is.
100%. He tried to be
Jose
Mr. Nice
Mourinho.
at Tottenham and how long did it last?
Exactly. And I think as good as you are at getting results on the pitch, when Jose leaves the club, there are going to be issues. And I think Solskjaer did a good job of fixing them. Do I think he probably should have been there the 3 years he was there? Probably should have left a lot sooner.
Maybe the end of last season, if we went, lads, we gave it a good go. I've done as much as I can in a bit.
But was it last season they finished second, though, didn't they?
That's what I mean. But you gave it a...
But I get what you mean. I think... But what if you finish second in the league for the first time in a few years?
But I don't think it was a close second, though. I don't think it was like a...
No, it was, but surely you want to go off and do one better next season. I don't think you would leave at that point. But I think when you've got one of the best players of all time who's still playing at a ridiculously high level and you're not in the top 5... Well, they are now, but when he left, they weren't in the top 5.
Yeah.
I think you probably should be thinking, maybe I'm not the right man for the job at the moment, especially if you're a big supporter of the club.
Well, yeah.
And their new manager, you like to call him Wreck-It Ralph, don't you? Also, what was it?
Ratchet. Wreck-It Ralph, yeah. It's because I can't pronounce his name. Big Wreck-It Ralph.
And he's a manager with a lot of experience, arguably trained to the best managers in trained arguably two of the best managers in the world.
Well, he's the godfather of the Gegenpress, isn't he? He kind of moulded it into how to use it at Leipzig and stuff.
And even in the first couple of games, United, we've seen that.
Yeah, the work rate from the United players.
The intensity.
I can't believe I'm ever going to say this. Fred has been, in the 3 games he's been there, unbelievable. I didn't see much of the game today, if any, but from what I've heard, Fred has been levels above, like, most people on the pitch. Like, and it's one of them, like this guy is. Like, you watch the United play now, and they're pressing everything, they're going for it. Ronaldo's not running around like headless chicken on his own up front trying to get the ball back. He's got Rashford there.
And, I mean, he's initially on a 6-month contract, isn't it? With 2 years consultancy afterwards, or whatever role they're giving him. Whatever nonsense they've made up. But
yeah, some random role they've made up, like.
But I was listening to Gary Neville speak about this. He was like, he wouldn't mind if he's successful this year, giving him another season. Not a long-term contract, which was maybe a mistake with Ollie. But if maybe that world-class manager they're searching for isn't available, like it's all about looking into Zidane, into Pochettino, stuff like that. If they're not available, why not give him another year contract? But do you see him finishing top 4 this season with him?
Yes.
I don't think top 3. I think top 3 is off the table.
I think I do see it. And I think that's only on the basis of Ronaldo, which sounds ridiculous to say. But I think there is literally going to be... I think Jadon Sancho's now finding his feet.
Yeah.
I think Bruno's Bruno, and he will pull goals and stuff. Ronaldo's going to start scoring. Like, more. Like, he hasn't scored very much lately.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
Like, and I think Rashford's going to start hitting the net a little bit more. I just think, again, I think United's issue, they need defenders. I think centre-back. They need a centre-back to go with Maguire.
But if you look at the table at the moment, if Tottenham, who've got 2 games in hand on most teams, 1 game in hand on West Ham in 4th, if they win their 1 game in hand, they're up to 4th. Then if they win their next game in hand, they're 4 points clear of everybody else. No, who saw that coming?
They are, but they're also bottle jobs.
Yeah, but now with this new manager who proven to be a success everywhere he's been.
The man lost to the lowest team in the Conference League 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but...
Lowest team in the Conference League.
He's just come into this role in the shambles of a club at the moment.
It's a shambles.
And if anyone can turn around at the moment, it's Conte. Especially defensively, let's say.
I'm laughing because I'm literally looking at the league table and still pondering how they're 7th.
I mean, I was confused when Nuno got manager of the month in his first month, and 2 months later got sacked. And I understand they weren't playing very good football.
Spursy?
What do you mean?
They call it Spursy, don't they?
Do they?
Yeah, so it's a saying now. It's called how Spursy can you be, basically. It's like only Tottenham could get manager of the month, sack him 2 months later. Spursy.
But it seems like he left him in a relatively good position, because Conte's not been there that long, has he?
No, I think he's been there 3-4 weeks, yeah. Like,
and I mean, if they win their 2 games in hand, which for a team like Tottenham you would expect them to at least challenge to win both of these games, they're top 4 with a few points safety net.
Tottenham have a good team as well. That's the thing. If you look at their team on paper, they've got a very good team.
Oh, Son, Kane.
Son and Kane alone.
The biggest lad in the world, Eric Dyer.
I love Eric Dyer.
The man literally slide tackled Ramos in Ramos's own area.
Yeah, just doesn't care.
No one around, no pressure. Eric Dyer out of nowhere. Woo, through Ramos.
He just doesn't care. Like, they've got a base of an incredibly good team. Lucas Moura on the right can do a job.
Yeah.
Like, have they still got Lamella? He's
Oh.
somewhere.
I'm not sure. Was it this season he did that really cool goal with...
The Rabona?
Yeah.
I think it was Arsenal last season, yeah.
It was I'm not sure, but even in the middle, got like Højbjerg and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
Strong in the middle.
Hugo Lloris in goals, consistent.
Centre back, so
Davison Sanchez.
Dyer plays in centre back. Dev Romero as well, who's pretty deep. Like, all round, I don't think they've got anywhere near the title winning squad, but a half decent squad at least.
But another team, I think coming into January, it's all about investments, isn't it? And you'll be able to get a clear picture by March who's getting where, I think.
I mean, even Arsenal, because start of the season, everyone's going to be at shambles. But since then, they've been after having 2 or 3 dodgy games in between, they've been brilliant. And I know they spent a lot in the summer and a lot have invested on young players. But like Eddie was saying, wasn't it? He was saying the aim of Arsenal at the moment is have 3 or 4 senior players in the squad. You're seeing that with the Xhaka, you're seeing that with Aubameyang, Lacazette. And everyone else, not a few, everyone else, be a young player. And then in 3 or 4 seasons' time, they will be the best team in the Premier League. That's the aim at the moment. And you
I
can
think
see
that could very well be true.
And could they get top 4? Because I think they're playing really nice football. I think when they play against the really top teams, they get exploited a little bit. You can see that.
But it's like you just said, inexperience, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's going to be even better for them, these players gaining that experience.
Yeah, of course.
Steven Gabriel's like 23, isn't he? Or so, around
Martinelli's young. I think he's 20s at best.
You got Saka.
Saka, yeah. You got Smith Rowe.
Smith
Martin
Rowe's
Odegaard.
insane.
Martin Odegaard.
He's on loan, but I think they'll probably sign him eventually.
Odegaard.
Yeah, he's on loan from Madrid, isn't he?
I think it's a permanent. I think they've made it
permanent.
permanent. I'm 90% sure it's a perm.
Oh, look at that. If you're right.
I think it is permanent.
But even like Ramsdale in goal, probably like 15 years being one of the best keepers in the world.
Yeah, Ramsdale's class, like.
Let's have a look here. Arsenal, did they sign him? On a loan deal, it was permanent signing. Wow, you're right. Fair play.
Oh no, I'm right.
You're right, mate. He's sick. That's a great signing.
What's
his name? The right back. I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Tomasaku, or however it is.
Oh yes. The Japanese international.
Yes, and like he's young as well.
And he's versatile. He can go anywhere across that back line.
Yeah.
Kieran Tierney, when he's fit, he's
Tomiyasu.
That's him.
That's it. And Tierney's only like early 20s as well.
Yeah.
People forget that. And like even like these players.
Your backup keeper is Bert Leno. Yeah. Your backup goalkeeper is Leno.
They're playing like for having all these young players and all this inexperience, really. Mm-hmm. And at the moment, being sixth after not winning the game in like 3 or 4 at the start, wasn't it? Mate? I think they lost the first 3 or 4 games.
Yeah.
They could really turn this around and like finish top 4. Ben White as well, relatively young player. And you see the side, and you see what Edu was saying.
Partey, yeah.
You either have Lacazette or Aubameyang up top, have an experienced head up top. You have Xhaka, an experienced head in the middle. Sometimes loses his head. And I suppose Partey, I know he's not old, but he's not young either. More experienced head. Have them 3 players with literally everybody else being under 25 around you.
Show me the Arsenal bench for a sec.
Yeah, we'll get the bench up here. So
was Aubameyang on it?
Aubameyang was not on.
Yeah, he's in trouble at the minute.
What do you mean?
So I actually read before we came online, he went to Barcelona yesterday, got a tattoo and missed training.
Oh, really?
Yeah, during COVID.
Why would you go to Barcelona to get a tattoo?
Probably likes the artist.
Wow.
Bad move.
But even so, having Lacazette up there as that experienced head.
Yeah, of course.
I really see
Aubameyang's meant to be the club captain.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone always knew Aubameyang was a liability in his personal life, sort of thing. Even when he moved to Arsenal.
Yeah.
And then when he was at the Ballon d'Or ceremony, when everybody was in suits, then he was there in his chilled out clothes and his snapback on and stuff like that.
He just doesn't care.
But yeah, I think
on.
it's good idea by Arsenal.
I think the battle for top 4 is going to be one of the most interesting we've had for a long time.
And I mean,
we haven't even spoke about Leicester, who are sat in 11th.
Who could mount a comeback and bring it up.
If you look, Leicester win their game. Leicester fly up to 8th.
It's going to be tight, I think. I think top 3, we know who the top 3 are going to be coming the end of the season.
Yeah, it would take a giant crumble.
Yeah. And we see, like, top 3 probably nailed on, but 4th place is a big place because that's the last place Champions League football.
Yeah.
Man United could get it from winning it. Unlikely. West Ham could get it from winning the Europa League again.
That's more likely.
Probably more likely, but still unlikely. I know they're massive, but as everyone's saying, but...
What do you get for winning the Europa Conference League? Sorry.
I'd assume a place in Europa League. I don't think... I'll look it up now if you want. But...
Do you want me to keep moving down the table?
Yeah, you go for it.
Okay, so obviously we've got Wolves in 8th. I think Wolves are going to pretty much stick around where they are now.
Yeah.
I think anywhere between 8th and 12th. I think Wolves call that a good season. You got rid of Nuno. You got a new manager in. It's a new philosophy. You know, Wolves are doing all right. You know, Jimenez is now starting to score the goals again.
And get sent off.
That's
today. Absolutely stupid decision.
One of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Imagine getting booked and then 30 seconds later blocking a free kick. Stupid. It's one of the Brentford surprise package. I initially thought Brentford would do well. I didn't think they'd be ninth.
No, I mean, they're just, like, you always have a team who excels. Like, you had Sheffield United a few seasons ago.
Yes.
You had Huddersfield a few seasons before that. There's always one team who excels in their first season in the Prem. And you can see that from Brentford's style of play, that they were going to be likely one of them teams. I don't think anybody thought Norwich City would do well. Watford could have been one of those teams. Very fast team in a lot of places.
Watford have a devastating amount of pace going forward.
Which in the Prem, at counter-attack, you could have seen either Brentford or Watford being that breakout promotion team. And I Brentford's taken it.
If we're going to talk relegation candidates, I think out of the three that have come up, I think only Norwich go down. I think Watford survive.
Yeah.
I think Watford keeping their head above water. I know last night's result for them against Brentford was brutal, and you feel for them. But I also think, looking at it, if Watford have just got through a run of, I think it was Arsenal, City, Chelsea, obviously they beat United, Liverpool, like they've dealt with all the big guns.
And they've just got their new manager, and we'll talk about that a bit more later, won't we? But just before we go on to talk about these relegation fighting clubs, the winner of Europa League automatically qualifies for of Europa Conference League automatically qualifies for Europa League group stages, unless they've already qualified for the Champions League, like through their league position. So if Tottenham win it, I think are they out? I don't know, but if they did, let's say they're worse than I'm not sure. If they win it, I know. Let's say Leicester, because they're definitely in it.
The Conference League, yeah. Did you see Brendan Rodgers' comment?
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, like
if they win it and they finish 12th, they're in the Europa League. If they win it and they finish 4th, they're in the Champions League.
Whatever happened to fair play? Do you remember they used to give?
Yeah, the fair play, get an extra position in.
Like if you got the least amount of yellow cards or something.
I have no idea what's happening with that.
I think I remember Fulham getting to like the Europa League final because they got through via fair play one year.
It's a weird rule though, that one. I know. It's good because they're the cleanest team, but So anyway,
moving on.
So relegation. There's going to be a lot of teams in trouble though, because Norwich should think are down. Burnley could come out. They're a fighting club. Sean Dyche, great manager. They could come out. You'd expect Newcastle, as long as they keep pace until January, to be able to claw themselves out. We got
I think Eddie Howe will be okay
with the signings they can make in January.
Yeah,
rumours of Wijnaldum coming back on loan, stuff like that. But you look at teams just above them. Leeds haven't had the best start,
but Leeds are now. They've had so many injuries.
Yeah,
they've had so many injuries,
and you don't expect. I mean, they've got a world class manager, and like
Bielsa he's a bit of a unit, and
he's too good, I think, to get him relegated. I mean, you could see Southampton dropping into it,
which you would love.
I wouldn't mind that. You could see Crystal Palace dropping into it. I think Everton again are too good.
I think Rafa's having a bad run of form, but I think Rafa Benitez's team will finish again, same as your Wolves, anywhere between 8th and 12th.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, Brentford have had a great start. I think they'll probably be able to keep themselves out of it. Brighton Hove Albion again, play an amazing footballing game.
And at the start of the season, they were up there for top 4.
Yeah.
They were on fire at the start of the season.
They've dropped a little bit, but their XG for last season and this season shows how good a footballing side they are.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think
you're going to have... they'll get drawn into it.
No, I think they'll stay clear of it. Definitely.
Maybe a 12th, 11th finish, I reckon, for them will be a good season.
So we go for the rest of the table. Obviously, Leicester 11th, won't finish 11th. Leicester's squad is too good. Obviously, now are they out of the Europa League? They are.
They're in the conference.
And I just don't think Brendan Rodgers is really going to give a damn about the Conference League.
Yeah.
I think he's going to full send that league. I think they might have gone another cup run. Obviously, they won the FA Cup last year.
Yeah.
Them in 12th.
They're not going to be anywhere near relegation coming this season.
No.
I'm willing to put any amount of money on that. Villa, I think Steven Gerrard's done good. I mean, it might just be new manager syndrome, but he does seem to know what he's doing as a manager.
I think so. I think you don't take Rangers to the last 16 of the Europa League
And win for the first time in however many years it was.
The man knows what he's doing. It's very unfortunate because I like Steven Gerrard.
But I don't think Villa will be near relegation by the end of the season.
I think the issue is Villa's players. I don't think people like John McGinn will stay. I think bigger teams will want people like John McGinn because John McGinn's been unreal.
It depends. I think it depends where they finish and what investment gets given. Because if, let's say, John McGinn goes up to Gerrard, like, I want to leave, and Gerrard turns around and shows him his plans, the board, who they have very rich owners, Villa. Let's remember that. If they say we're investing 150 million this season, I'm not saying they will do.
No, to be fair, I'll give you that.
No, I see Gerrard, who's been a captain for a lot of his career, and a manager now, as being someone who can influence people. He could influence John McGinn to stay by showing him his plan.
No, to be fair, yeah, because that's what happened to Grealish, isn't it? They said we're going to build a team around you. And he said, yeah, sound, I'll stay, and then went to City.
Yeah, but he missed his open goals from 3 yards
Oh,
out.
yeah, true. So. No one like Fabian Delph, though, is
But, yeah, I don't think Villa will be near the bottom. I think Gerrard will bring him up. I think, like I said, Rafa. Vieira is relatively unproven as a manager, isn't he?
But he's got them playing nice football.
They're playing well. They've got that striker from the Scottish League, don't they?
Dembele.
No. Eduardo, I'd like to say.
Eduardo, yeah, sorry.
He scored like his first touch when on his debut. And they've got Wilfried Zaha, everyone knows that. And I think for Crystal Palace, I don't think they'll be getting drawn into it, but they are in danger of it because their manager isn't the most experienced. Maybe he'll be like Pep and be just like perfect for a managerial role.
Maybe.
But who knows? I mean, all round they've got a pretty decent team. But it's Eduardo. I don't know how to say it really, but he's been pretty good.
He's been alright, to be fair.
I don't think Leeds get drawn into it, so I think it's probably between these bottom 5 teams at the moment for me personally. The Southampton, Watford, Burnley, maybe Newcastle, depending what they do in January, and Norwich.
Yeah, and I think if you were to say odds on out of them, it's tight.
I think let's both have a prediction now. I think Norwich.
This is going to sound silly. I think Brentford and Brighton might not to fall into it, but it might make it a lot tighter down there.
Potential. I mean, if you could say 3 teams relegate, I think
right now
Norwich, Burnley, Southampton. I know. I
agree. I think Newcastle and Watford survive.
I think for my last one, it's between Watford and Burnley because Burnley are resilient as.
They are, but the Tinkerman.
And if
the issue is Burnley do have 2 games in hand.
But if Burnley lose, what's his name, to go to Newcastle, who's been heavily linked with the centre back Tarkowski. If they lose him in January and can't replace him well enough, they could be in real trouble. But I think in the moment it's either Norwich, Watford, Southampton, Norwich, Burnley, Southampton for me.
I think we're both pretty adamant that Norwich are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Unless something drastic happens.
I mean, Dean Smith's turned him around a little bit since he's been taken over.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think he's good enough to keep him up.
I think if Dean Smith came in at the start of the season, you'd fancy your chances.
Yeah. But, I mean, they've got a great young team. I know a lot of their best young players are on loan. But you got like Gilmore and Williams there as well, don't you? 2 players who you could probably see being at top clubs later in their career. I know Gilmore's at Chelsea, Williams at Man United already.
No, but I know what you mean. Yeah.
They've got good young players, but I just don't seem good. I mean, but you also look at Burnley and Newcastle, who after 14 and 15 games have won 1 game.
Oh yeah,
like they don't seem good.
I think Newcastle will just pull away.
I think they have.
They have. If you've been bought over by a rich club like ownership now, and you go down, that is a joke.
Yeah, agreed.
Like, you cannot go down with that kind of money behind you. It's silly. I think Burnley just have never been big spenders.
No, I mean, it's not in their philosophy, really, is it?
No.
I wonder what their record signing is. Probably not more than 20 million. Probably a lot less than that.
A lot less than that, I'd say.
I mean, you've seen Newcastle. They're linked with so many players just because they want the money. But the realistic ones you see, Tarkowski, Wijnaldum.
Someone like a Dwight McNeil as well.
So, like, these players, if they come in, that could really turn around or at least make them good enough to not get relegated. Because at the moment, they're not good enough.
They literally, this season is survive.
Yeah.
That is their whole...
Survive and build.
Survive and build. You know, and Eddie Howe, I think he can do it. The man pulled it off with Bournemouth for enough seasons. Obviously, he went down in the end, but...
But you saw Man City. It took them a few seasons when they got the money to become the team they are. I mean, their first season with money, I don't think they finished top 4, did they? They might have done. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they didn't finish top 4.
Yeah, I think they failed to, yeah.
And they signed Robinho, didn't they, who thought he was going to Manchester United.
Yes.
And stuff. So it does take a while, even with all this money. But I still think they'll probably spend enough to be safe.
I think it's a weird season anyway, the Prem and the Championship and all. I think in terms of, we've had a lot of managers come and go quite early on this season.
A lot of new managers in the Prem, isn't there?
Like...
Let's go down the list at the moment and you see, obviously the top 3 haven't changed their managers, top 4.
Tuchel's still relatively fresh.
Yeah, he's not even had a full year yet, has he?
How's he been? Good?
He's been amazing.
Obviously, we spoke about Ralph. Like, he's going to be a slow kind of build, but I think he's a great manager. I think he's what they need at the minute, a stable manager, brings results in.
Tottenham, you got Conte.
Conte, how do I feel about it? I think he'll be alright.
I mean, he did well at Chelsea. Left. I mean, he seems to have a very volatile personality. If he doesn't get his way, he sort of throws the toys out the pram. But
there's a fine line between passion and arrogance, isn't there?
Yeah, and I think he skates that line quite a lot. But Chelsea, he did good. Milan,
yeah,
he did good. Will he do good at Tottenham? It'll be very hard to do good with the amount of amazing teams that are in the Prem at the moment. But it'll be interesting to see. And it seems like, I think, because, I mean, when he first went there, everyone, he said himself pretty much, didn't he, that he not going to Tottenham because, I mean, he doesn't want to. I think he wanted the United job, if I'm honest. But Daniel Levy managed to convince him. And I think he convinced him with a transfer kitty of over 100 million.
I think he had to.
I think maybe even 150 million.
But I think what he probably doesn't know is that 100 million is going to be supplied via Harry Kane.
Who knows? I mean, we don't know what goes on behind the closed doors, but Daniel Levy seems like a very dodgy guy in that respect.
I think, and I kind of believe Harry Kane that there definitely was a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
I think 100% he must have.
And that's what I mean. Like, I never want to be inflammatory about anybody, but Harry Kane doesn't seem like the type of guy who would lie about something like that. And if he said that, Levy said he was able to go, if he wanted to, I'm inclined to believe him. If you know what I mean. But anyway, moving down as well. Wolves, not really a new manager, relatively new.
He's been
Brighton manager who's been there a season a bit now. Aston Villa, we talked about Steven Gerrard a little bit already.
Just got them attacking. He's got them going forward.
We had a debate with our friend, didn't we? I think I had a debate with him. Who he said he thinks he only got the job because he was Steven Gerrard, whereas I argued winning the Scottish League with Rangers for the first time in ages, getting to the last 16 Europa League, is a good enough CV to at least give you a chance at a club like that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think he's good.
I think they wanted someone more proven, but Gerrard's got a point to prove.
Yeah.
I did, as much as obviously I'm a Birmingham fan, I don't want to speak good about the Villa. I think the issue was always, if you can get Watkins and Danny Ings firing. Let's be honest, Danny Ings for Southampton for years has been unbelievable. He's a goal scorer.
Sadly.
The base of their team was already there. They've got arguably one of the best keepers in the league in Emi Martinez.
Yeah. Arsenal was silly to let him go. Got a good keeper now, but I think he would have been in above above Leno in my books.
100%. But how much do you sit on the bench? You know what I mean? Like, you lost it in the end. Rafa's Everton and not where you'd want him to be, really.
No, and I mean, Rafa's a proven manager. Probably one of the most well-known managers in the world.
Yeah.
He's done it in England. He's done it in Spain. he's decent.
He did a good job in China.
Yeah. And obviously, Newcastle fans were gutted when he left, but Everton fans seem to be one in his head already.
Wow. Typical. We're all like it though, all football fans, aren't we? We want the best and we want it now.
Yeah.
Vieira, that's still the jury's still probably a little bit out on him.
Yeah. Just like, I mean, he's relatively new, sort of like the Gerrard, relatively new. But the difference between, I think, Gerrard and Vieira is, in Gerrard's 3-ish years of management, has he made many errors at all? And I think he's not really failed with anything he's done so far in management, in my opinion. Whereas Vieira, will he be like that? Will he be able to go a couple of seasons without making too many monumental errors? Or will the crack start to show him? That's where we really see the pull apart the good managers from the average managers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think jury's out on Vieira.
I think so as well, but I think a philosophy, isn't it? Like you just said, the stuff does take time.
Yeah.
Same with the Tinkerman, who
Watford, yeah.
the whole country fell in love with about 7 years ago now when he did it with Leicester.
And he proves he can. I mean, I think Ranieri was always known, ever since he was at Chelsea, really, for me, a very inconsistent manager. But the fact is, when you're inconsistent, it means that half the time you're winning matches as well.
Well, yeah.
And maybe that's what a relegation team needs, a manager who sometimes play amazing, sometimes play awful, but you're building up enough points to stay up.
But I think Watford will be okay. I think if you... And I know, obviously, the main stat is the scoreline. I get it. But if you look at the games that they've played, and you look at how they've played in them games, I know it was the nail in Ollie's coffin, but he 4-1 United.
Yeah.
He lost 2-1 to Chelsea. And you could argue that Watford could have very easily got a point out of that.
Yeah.
Very easily.
I mean, you see Watford. I know they're 17th at the moment, but with their 4 wins, they've got the most wins out of everybody up to 14th. And even the same amount of wins as Brighton in 10th.
Yeah.
A few goals going different ways. I mean, you see they've got 11 losses and 1 draw. So if they could turn some of them losses into draws, they could be up 12th or 13th this season. Like, I think they've been very near miss on a lot of these things.
I'd be very, very, very surprised to see Watford go back down.
Yeah. I mean, I like Watford as a team anyway.
Their front three is very good this year.
Very fast.
Well, yeah, you got Ismail Sarr, Emmanuel Dennis, and then Josh King. Yeah. And it was criminal he didn't get a game at Everton. Yeah, criminal. Yeah. You know, he had a point to prove. They stuffed Everton 5-2 actually as well at Goodison.
Yeah. Who else got a new manager? Newcastle, obviously. We talked about Eddie Howe quite a bit. He's done jobs before. I mean, he's only really ever succeeded at Bournemouth. He's only really ever had 2 other clubs. One other club he's been at, which he did sadly fail at. And then he went back to Bournemouth and again did amazing.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, is he only good at Bournemouth, or will he be able to turn Newcastle around? Wait and see, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's got the philosophy there already, hasn't he, really? He's got his Ryan Fraser there, and his Callum Wilson. So.
And then Dean Smith.
They've turned the corner.
Good job at Villa. Will he do an equally good job at Norwich? I know he didn't do well in his last few games for Villa. But, yeah.
The thing is, with Norwich, have gone from... Me personally, I've gone from, they're gone, they're in the bin, see you later, to, maybe. Yeah. Like, he started turning heads, like, and they've got 2 wins. They had not a win until he came in.
Yeah.
And now he's pulling results out the bag.
Well, it's going to be so tight, both at the top and the bottom.
It's going to be a final day.
I think the middle's going to be quite boring.
Yeah, I think so, but I think it'll be a final day.
Yeah. And just looking at this league table, I remember seeing this the other week, and it's how mad this season actually is. If you're listening, you might not be able to see this league table, but trust us. There is only 5 teams. It's nothing to do with anything really. This I just saw it now. I wanted to save this because I think it's amazing. There's only 5 teams in the whole league with positive goal difference, and 3 of them teams are obviously the top 3, and they're all. I mean, Chelsea 27 positive, Liverpool 33 positive, Man City 24 positive, And then you got West Ham with 9 positive, and then Man United with 2, who are in 5th place with a positive 2 goal difference, and you're in 5th place. Everybody else in the league is negative, and I think this shows how good the top 3 teams are. I know we started with this pretty much. I just want to go back to this. It shows how good these 3 teams are, how much they're putting past people. It's pretty astonishing, isn't it?
Let's be honest, Salah's already won the Golden Boot. Let's be fair about it. Salah, he's got it.
I think it's amazing that like these clubs, 5 of them are in positive goal difference out of the 20.
Well, yeah.
And 3 of them are in like ridiculous amounts. It's I mean, that's nothing about anything really. I mean, we're coming to the end of this first podcast really. But that's like, I just wanted to put that out there as one of the final thoughts. Like, these 3 teams at the top, have we ever seen anything like? I know we've had the 2-horse race before between Liverpool and Manchester City, but have we ever seen 3 teams so dominant, so much above everybody else in the league as this?
No, I don't think so. Like, and it's like you said, it's going to be really interesting because you've got for 4th as well. You've got West Ham, United, Arsenal, Tottenham,
Potentially
Totford.
Leicester.
Like, you're looking at Leicester, who are probably going to appear there at some point
if they can have a run of good form, yeah.
Like, and look, if you look how tight this league is, so if you're a Watford fan, you win 2 games, you're up to 11th.
Yeah,
it is so tight everywhere.
It's ridiculous, really. Like, you've got teams who are.
There is 8 points separating Watford to Europa League.
I was about to say Leicester. They're 9 points off being bottom of the league, but 8 points off being in 4th place.
It's mayhem.
A momentum swing for any team at the moment could see them either in relegation trouble or fighting for a Europa or Conference League position.
And I think it is literally a dice roll.
Yeah.
And I think it all comes down to the Cup of Nations next month. Because I think these, I don't want to say smaller teams, these teams that are down there, you know, is there going to be African players that we're not thinking of at the minute? Probably. Is it going to affect the teams massively?
You look at Watford.
Emmanuel
just
Dennis.
talk about their front 3. Sarr as well. Will that make a big change? Who knows?
Who does Ismail Sarr play for?
Ismail Sarr, I'd like to say... So, is it Cameroon or Senegal? It might be Senegal, I think. I might be completely wrong here. I'm not very good at the African flags.
Senegalese.
Oh, come on! Well done, John. I'm happy with that.
And he's surely going to get called up.
Yeah, and like, we'll just talk about the dangerous Watford front 3. 2 of the 3 are gone.
No, I don't know, because, again, information from another podcast, but there is a rumour that the Nigerian manager doesn't get on with Dennis.
Oh, really?
Which is mad. It's fine by them. I'm sure the Watford fans aren't upset about that.
No.
They're like, oh no, like,
oh dear. Okay, come play for us again.
you know, what's Watford's backup for the bench? They've got some.
Is Gray still there?
No, he's on loan at QPR. They've got that Hernandez who scored against Villa in the first game of the season.
He looked good. He came on actually last game, and he looked good.
He scored, didn't he? Actually, he was the one that scored.
I think he did.
Against City, yeah. So they've got ample replacement.
Yeah.
I think,
it's going to be very tight. I think relegation's going to be tight. Europa League and title and Champions League going to be tight. It's going to be a great season.
Yeah, cool.
But I think we'll wrap up there. It's close to an hour for this first podcast. If you liked it, please, whatever platform you're listening on, subscribe, follow, like if you can, whatever platform you're listening on, whatever you can. It will help us out. It will let us know you're enjoying it as well, that you want to see more or hear more. Hear more podcast. But let us know. And
That'll do, yeah. Nice one, boys.
Thanks
and
for watching. And we'll see you next time.
See ya.